CTV3 News. Shrine's motion of no confidence against Prime Minister John Briceño turned down at the House of Representatives. Chaos erupts as he writes back to the Speaker of the House in an unruly manner. PSI-ASR representatives reach out to government after High Court ruling on Sugar Act. Land certificates distributed in San Esteban, and the vegetable interdiction team is an important asset to the economy, says PM Briceño. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, August 11th, 2023.
Me encuentro recluida porque fui acusada de inhumación, exhumación de cadáveres, profanación de cadáveres y homicidio de 13 personas.
Ellos decían que era santería, nosotros decíamos que era satanería.
Yo nunca me imaginé que a mí me iban a aventar todo lo de Adolfo.
Quien jefaturaba y quien ordenaba y quien tenía el poder y el peso de decisión pues era Sara.
When we were elected in 2021, we were determined to work hard for the benefit of the people. In just 2.5 years, we have accomplished a lot. Amongst many of our accomplishments, we are proud to say that we have acquired the most vehicles and machinery ever acquired by any council in just a short time. Under the leadership of Mayor Ladrick Shepherd, your Orange Rock Town Council has acquired a grader, a backhoe, a garbage compactor truck, a water truck, 2 brand new utility Kias, and a brand new patrol pickup for the traffic department. With this equipment, we're able to do a lot more. We remain committed to continue working together because only together progress continues.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to join us at the 2nd Annual Belize Investment Summit from August 30th to September 1st, 2023 at the Grand Caribe Resort on Umbergers Key. Belize, the land of endless potential, with a vibrant people and economy and a wealth of natural resources, is the region's premier investment hub, offering a range of opportunities across sectors including the blue, green, and orange economies. The Belize Investment Summit 2023 is your chance to explore these opportunities and connect with potential partners, investors, financiers, and stakeholders from across the globe. This 3-day summit will offer networking opportunities, site visits, one-on-one meetings, roundtable discussions, business pitches, an expo, and keynote presentations from government officials and industry leaders. Gain insight into Belize's investment climate and the incentives that make our country the destination for investment. Register now for the Belize Investment Summit 2023 and discover a world of opportunities. Be a believer. Invest in Belize. Thrive in Belize.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. As we have been reporting over the last few days, there was a major ruling coming out of the High Court earlier this week in relation to a legal challenge brought against the government of Belize regarding the Sugar Industry Act. The challenge was for 7 areas of the Sugar Act. However, only 2 were ruled in their favor. The first of the 3 speaks to the portion of the Act that requires BSI to contribute to financing the operations of Sugar Industry Control Board. The second addresses the unconstitutionality of a provision within the Act that requires cane farmers to belong to an association in order to be registered and deliver cane. Earlier this week, Prime Minister John Briceño spoke on the ruling, saying that the hope is that a solution can be reached that will benefit the entire industry. In speaking about the matter today, the PM confirmed that representatives from BSI ASR have reached out to GOB, and so discussions have begun on a way forward.
How we're going to move forward? Well, we need to find a way. How is it that we're going to ensure that that the farmers' rights are protected at all times, and at the same time that we can find the funds to be able to operate the different departments or divisions. I don't want to give any names at this time because they might have to change, to ensure that the sugar industry can continue to thrive and to be able to grow and expand.
The section about the levies, though, PM, the BSI seems to think that's the biggest part of all of the ruling, and the attorney is saying that there's a possibility SICB could be ordered to repay that. Have you had a chance to look at how many millions we're talking about going for back?
I have no idea on that section. That is why I'm saying the ruling is not very clear, so obviously we'll have to be able to try to get a better grip and better understanding as to how we want to do. But I do believe, and BSI have already reached out to me to point out, listen, we want to work with the farmers, we want to work with Belize, we want to ensure that this industry continues to thrive. So it's not a matter of wanting to bankrupt anybody, because at the end of the day, then is the taxpayers will have to give back that money. So I believe, and as I always have said, I'm optimist by nature, that we'll find a common ground to be able to move forward.
The motion of no confidence against Prime Minister John Bresenio by the leader of the opposition, Shine Barrow, was permitted to be tabled for debate at today's meeting at the House of Representatives. Barrow was notified of the decision late yesterday evening, and he fired back in an email that was received by House Speaker Valerie Woods and other employees of Parliament after 6 p.m. Today, the Speaker of the House announced that the motion will not go through, and that caused hysteria for the opposition. But we will get to that part of the exchange later. First, we bring you the Speaker's explanation as to why the motion was not allowed to be tabled.
As the presiding officer for the House of Representatives, it is incumbent upon me to inform members, as well as members of the public, why the proposed motion of no confidence, which was asked to be tabled at this House meeting, was not tabled. The reason for doing this during the announcement is to ensure that there is no misunderstanding on the determination that was made by the chair. The private member's motion, submitted by the Leader of Opposition, member from Mesopotamia, infringed on Standing Order 38.5 in relation to the fifth recital of the motion by imputing improper motives in respect of a minister and a minister of state. The motion also made assertions of malfeasance against the Prime Minister, a civil wrong for which no court of law has made any such pronouncement. That was stated in the 9th and 10th recitals. In addition, the substantive part of the private member's motion sought to have debate on the lawfulness or otherwise of a matter, that is, the Portico Agreement, which is the subject matter of an existing claim before the High Court. As members may be aware, on the 11th of July 2023, 3 companies filed a claim in which the claimants are asking the court to pronounce the lawfulness of the Portico Agreement. It is a cardinal principle of our constitutional democracy that Parliament will not engage in a debate on a subject matter which is before the courts for determination. Erskine May, the authoritative text on parliamentary proceedings, the UK Parliament Online edition at paragraph 2011, explains that no matter awaiting adjudication by a court of law, that is, matters sub judice, should be brought before the House. It further states that a notice of motion relating to matters sub judice should be withdrawn from the order paper and may be reinserted when the matter has been determined, and that signatures may not be added to motions relating to matters which are sub judice until the cases have been disposed of. This parliamentary rule finds support in Standing Order 38.2. This covers both the content of speech. This covers both the content of speech and the subject matter currently before the courts, which cannot be raised in a motion. The member was advised that in keeping with Standing Order 25.2a, based on the findings above, the no confidence motion 2023 will not be placed on the order paper for this House meeting, as it contravenes the above-mentioned standing orders.
The Speaker related that the motion could not be tabled for debate since it would register a precedent for future meetings of which members could then use to enter a motion of the same nature. It was all explained to the Leader of the Opposition in writing, but he would waste no time and fired back an email which can be considered a total disrespect to the Chair of the House.
The email was sent at 6:14 yesterday from the Leader of Opposition, and it states, "Greetings. You, Madam Speaker, have exposed yourself to be a complete waste of time as Speaker of the Honorable House. You repeatedly act as a shield for the government, shamelessly misinterpreting and misapplying the standing orders to protect the Prime Minister and his government from public scrutiny and accountability. When the UDP was in government, we were not afraid of the opposition. We allowed for no confidence motions as we are true protectors of democracy. With each erroneous ruling, you expose yourself as a complete biased speaker that will stop at nothing to protect the PUP government. I was foolish to believe a former PUP senator and candidate would be anything other than a partisan hack." Signed, Honorable Dr. Shine Barrow, Leader of Opposition, House of Representatives, MP for Mesopotamia.
The reply email sent to the Speaker by the Leader of the Opposition did not sit well for the presiding officer of the House. The Honorable Valerie Woods proceeded to engage with members the severity and the seriousness of such a reply and accusation by the Leader of the Opposition.
This is a grave matter, members. I will remind all members that this chair does not make determinations on the whim. This chair seeks the legal counsel of the Attorney General's office, as you all know that the Parliament does not yet have its own parliamentary legal counsel. In addition to that, the chair seeks the guidance from the well-experienced staff of Parliament. In addition to that, the chair looks to the precedents that have been set. In this case, there was a no confidence motion tabled in the previous Parliament, and it is clear that that no confidence motion did meet the threshold where it did not contravene standing orders. Members should also be aware that this chair also looks to the precedent practices set not only in other Commonwealth jurisdictions, but by the experiences of other speakers who have had to deal with similar situations.
The reply by Barrow to the House Speaker contains serial breach of Standing Order 28.5, imputing proper motives to the Chair. It also breaches Standing Order 38A, which questions the conduct of the Chair. As per the Speaker, it constitutes a libel on the Chair of the Honorable House, calling into question a breach of parliamentary privileges. In the CARICOM, when this situation occurs, the offense is called the breach of privilege, and each House has the right to call it out so it be dealt with accordingly. The matter of Barrow's words to the Speaker via the email, if dealt with, will have to be done so through the Privileges Committee of the House of Representatives. After her presentation, the Speaker then vacated her seat after the Leader of the Opposition presented notice of a privilege motion against her, which overtakes all other business. Barrow said he was not directly called to discuss the motion before it was denied, and the denial's effect is silencing the opposition.
This is not the first time that the Speaker of the House is making these erroneous decisions, and it impacts the ability of the opposition to effectively advocate on behalf of the Belizean people, Mr. Speaker. These are not arbitrary decisions that are being made. The Speaker said how important the chair is and the type of prestige and the type of reverence that the chair deserves. That has to be demonstrated vice versa, Mr. Speaker. The considerations of the arguments that the members of the opposition would like to make before this honorable House, they have been earned. We were elected to be here. We were elected to speak on behalf of the Belizean people. They said the voice of the people is the voice of God, and we are their representation. So whenever we bring something to this honorable House, such as a no confidence motion, the Speaker has an obligation to work with the opposition to ensure that there is not any violation of the standing orders, but at the same time that the opposition is allowed the freedom to represent the Belizean people who elected them in this honorable House. This is not a fascist state. This is not a dictatorship. This is a democracy, Mr. Speaker. And the continued misapplication and misinterpretation of the standing orders is undermining our democracy. The standing order that was cited in the Speaker's response as to matters that are being litigated in the court, the standing order says that such matters should not be debated in a fashion that may prejudice them.
At the end, presiding Deputy House Speaker Marconi Leal Sr. ultimately rejected the motion.
Leader of the opposition, after listening to your presentation, it is my decision that your motion is not allowed, will not be allowed, because and this is simply because your motion is inconsistent with the standing orders. You can, however, bring a motion at this House at any other time, providing that the motion does not contravene with the standing orders. So there will be no debate today.
Barrow can bring a motion to the House at any time, provided that it does not contravene the standing orders. With the Deputy Speaker shooting down the motion, a spirited debate ensued from both sides of the floor.
Privilege motion, he needs to read his privilege motion, not the act for TV. He needs to just read the privilege motion so that we can discuss it. Not come up on TV right now, upon no documentary.
Leader of the opposition, please go ahead and read your motion.
When I present my notice of
Mr. Speaker,
motion,
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. Mr. Speaker, on a point of order.
What is the
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. I will address the Speaker, Leader of the Opposition, not you. 38-1.
State your point of order.
To the contents of your debate. You are supposed to read your privilege motion. Read the motion. Don't go all over the place, man. Read your motion and let the Speaker make a decision. That is what you're here to do. Not act for the camera. Come on.
What is supposed to happen according to the notice of the motion? The Speaker is supposed to call me into her office and go over the motion with me, and then I proceed with the motion. But that did not happen. So when you talk about what the standing orders are, clearly you don't know. And this is my second privilege motion. And the last privilege motion, she proceeded over it, and she was the subject of it as well. The Speaker could have altered the no confidence motion. There were minor alterations that could have been done. Because the difference between saying the Prime Minister is guilty of malfeasance and nonfeasance could have been, it is an allegation. And it is a legitimate allegation, Mr. Speaker, that is being investigated by the Senate. The majority, actually the unanimous Senate, voted to investigate this portico agreement from its genesis with the former minister.
Mr. Speaker,
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, on a point of order. On a point of order.
What's your point of order?
38-1. Let the leader of the opposition know, confine his debate to the subject. He has a privilege motion. Read the motion. Read the motion. He has still not read the motion. He has still not read the motion. Go ahead and read the motion so that you can make a decision, Mr. Speaker.
Point accepted.
The commotion kept on going for quite a while. In an interview with reporters outside the House today, Prime Minister John Briceño reacted to this morning's fiasco inside the House of Representatives involving the no confidence motion, which was to be presented by the leader of the opposition. According to the PM, the actions of the opposition leader, though outside the confines of the House, are still categorized as extremely disrespectful.
That's extremely disrespectful. That is why I called for the constitutional and privileges. I have a long title, the committee, to meet and to discuss such gross disrespect. That has never happened in the history of Belize. And he likes to point out about we having a vote of no confidence when he could have cut and paste and use the same function. We had not, at any time, we did not call any names, did not cause any aspersions or anything as to the way the leader of the opposition has just done. And so it's disgraceful and it's shameful that a leader of opposition would behave in such fashion.
How do you dissect the allegation that the Speaker of the House is somewhat attempting to protect you and your government by striking down this no confidence motion?
Sorry for putting it that way. That's a stupid argument. And I say that simply because, as I said to you all when I last week Friday, look at the numbers. I mean, there are 3 of them in there. We are 24 right now. There's absolutely no way this could pass. So it has nothing to do with protecting. It's simply about following due process, following the regulations, the standing orders of the House. We cannot allow, or certainly the Speaker, as she pointed out, she cannot allow that to set a precedent, to allow such questions to be asked when it's in clear contravention of the standing orders. And he can rephrase his question and bring it back again. If he wants to have a vote of no confidence, there's absolutely no problem.
This is to say you're not afraid of debating any no confidence motion?
Absolutely not. There's not. Look at the record. Look at what we have accomplished in 2.5 years.
PM Briceño also fielded the matter of the 11th Amendment, which was raised in today's meeting. Despite allegations made that the motion was targeted at the opposition leader, the PM says the matter is one which had been raised before and of utmost importance to the country.
Deeply discriminatory. That is how this 11th Amendment is being looked at by a lot of people. Do you consider that pushing this will cause a stain to be on your administration? I mean, I think Ruth Schuman has been cited as one example. Your Minister of Education said she should be given another chance. What message are you sending to black youths out there with this?
I don't think it has to do anything with anything. You all are giving too much importance to the issue of the leader of the opposition. I think it is something simply whereby there has to be a correction. I don't think it is right that you can block a person in Belize that committed a crime or someone that committed a crime in the Commonwealth, but yet somebody outside of Belize commits a crime in Melchor or here in Chetomal can run. So we have to find a balance of best to fix. So we want to fix that right now, but then we will also give the PCC an opportunity, hopefully when they come up with a new set of rules. But for this time, for now, we need to be able to try to see how we can fix that discrepancy. Thank you.
The Belize Investment Summit is coming up on August 38, 2023, and the organizers are dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's to ensure that this year's summit is even more successful than last year's one held in San Pedro on November 10th and 1st. Yesterday, the media was invited to a press brief to learn more about what this year's summit will bring and how investors, businesses, and the entire region can benefit largely from the activities celebrated under the theme Belize Endless Opportunities.
Want to now offer both the foreigners or foreign investment and local investment all what we have done during 21 and 22 to make that ecosystem more friendly, that we have more incentives, and that we can lure them to come to Belize and show them. And so we are telling them this time, Belize, endless opportunities. Now you have the right environment, the right legislations, and the right processes in the different departments as much as we can do or we have done. A lot more to be done yet, but we are getting there. And now we are inviting you back to come and see where we can do. A little bit different this year is that we have gone and we have said we want to prioritize or we want to focus on three sectors or three areas of the economy. We want to look at the green economy, the blue economy, and the orange economy. A lot of people ask what the orange economy is. That's the creative industry. And why we need to do that? Because a big part of our GDP is generated by the tourism industry. We all know that. But after the visitor sees the reef and swim with the sharks at Holchan and go visit the Blue Hole, they come home and they need something to do. So if we have artists, if we have singers, if we have dancers, if we have music, and the creative arts need to support the tourism industry.
The CEO in the office of the Prime Minister says this year the plan is to host the summit during working days in order to keep visitors in Belize for a weekend getaway, which will translate to business for small, medium, and large businesses on the island.
Summit in itself generates economic activity for the country, in this case, for the island. People will travel, people will eat, people will get rooms, so again, and we always do it on start on a Wednesday for Thursday and Friday so that many people stay for the weekend to know what our country has to offer, not only as an investment country or a country that is ready for investment, but also for tourism purposes. This year also we're focusing on energy, which is within the green sector, energy, renewable energy, which is an issue that is high on the agenda for government. And also we're looking at the blue economy that also has a lot of resources and that can garner a lot of investment opportunities for our country.
The summit will be streamed live, and that means it will catapult a huge number of viewers who will be able to know in real time the advancements of the event from their favorite mobile. Nonetheless, nothing beats in-person experience at Grand Caribbean in San Pedro.
We'll have about 45 10 by 10 tents where you will be able, there'll be those who are local businesses, near export, ready to export, and we have an export Belize that's ready, that can work with those entities. But you'll also have those coming in from Guyana and from a few other countries that will also be displaying what is it that they do. The country has adopted an export-led growth, and the only way we can reduce that trade balance that we keep hearing about, which is one of the big challenges, is to produce more. And there's every reliance on the MSMEs as the foundation, or what we would call the denominator for that kind of growth. So then Friday, September 1st, the conference, day 2, West Room, and in here we're not seeing anything specific, but we'll talk a little bit about the agenda. All right, because on day 1, like I mentioned, when you have on the opening, the Prime Minister will be the keynote address. We'll also have President Duque, as I mentioned. And so after that, really this is where not the formalities end, but this is where we hear from the celebrant. This is like a state of the nation in San Pedro. Some people get excited very late, right? Some are excited very early, and then others get excited, so there's a summit happening in San Pedro, how do I get there? So we see faces we didn't know we were going to expect. That's one of the things we are working on to make sure that it's streamlined, that it doesn't create any kind of frustration. So tables will be set up. In fact, on Wednesday, Fiona, we want to do registration pretty much for the whole day, correct? So that on Thursday, for example, Thursday morning, when the ceremony is ready to begin, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss these speeches. So if they can do it on the Wednesday, that will help. Reduce the numbers on Thursday morning. All right? Reduce the numbers on Thursday morning. Yes, it's true it will be live streamed, but nothing beats face-to-face.
This year, 34 MSMEs sent in their applications in hopes of getting funding for their business. Independent judges will select the winners from a short list of 15 that will then be announced. Earlier this week, opposition leader Shine Barrow, during a conference with the media, chided the government for the creation of the Vegetable Interdiction Unit, which has been created with support from the police department to help tackle the issue of contraband, particularly in northern Belize. The resources used for that unit, according to Barrow, could better be used in other more pressing matters, including the monitoring of price gouging across the country. In an interview with Prime Minister John Briceño in Orange Walk Town earlier this week, he responded to the opposition leader, highlighting the importance of local farmers and the need to ensure they are able to market their product in the local market.
We have said from the beginning that we need to eat more of what we grow and maybe grow more of what we eat. And so the Ministry of Agriculture, along with the Police Department and Customs Department, we have been monitoring the borders to try to minimize as best as we possibly can the illegal importation of vegetables. There are three reasons. One is that we want to protect our local producers. Two, obviously government is losing revenues, but most importantly, if we do not have proper monitoring, they could bring in other diseases in the country that can affect our agriculture industry in Belize. So it's important for us, and we will continue to support our local farmers, creating opportunities for them.
This year, 34 MSMEs sent in their applications in hopes of getting funding for their business. Independent judges will select the winners from a short list of 15, then will be announced. Earlier this week, opposition leader Shine Barrow, just a few days ago, the Vegetable Interdiction Team will be able to confiscate contraband items valued at over $16,000. Coming up next, we take you to San Esteban, where the Orange Walk Central's annual summer camp comes to an end. Stay tuned.
¿Qué tal mi gente de Orange Walk? Somos amigos de Red Latina y los invitamos este próximo 2 de septiembre
al 19º aniversario
de nuestra radio Fiesta FM 106.7 en el escenario de Hypersol. Somos amigos Red Latina. Red Latina, mami.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Today marked the final day for the San 7 Football and Karate Summer Camp organized by the Orange Walk Central PUP Executive and the Prime Minister and Area Rep for Orange Walk Central, Honorable John Briceño, in collaboration with the San 7 Village Council. After a full week of receiving training in football and karate, today the children were treated to a very special closing ceremony, which saw each participant receiving certificates and also special tokens from the Orange Walk Central PUP Executive, including school bags and school supplies.
Important that we impart knowledge in the classroom, but it's also important to impart knowledge outside of the classroom, and that is the reason why we came up with this idea to involve the students in constructive learning out of the classroom, because they have an entire month of summer break and we want them to be engaged positively, and this is one way by which they can, learn other skills like their soft skills, cooperation, teamwork, things like that, that they will take back to the classroom when school reopens in September.
This is the second year football is offered as part of the camp, and today one of the participants told us all about what she learned during the 5 days of training.
I really enjoyed football summer camp because I'm a person that doesn't really go outside much, and this made me experience new things and learn more things for football and new stuff.
Talk to us a little about some of the things that you learned about football.
I learned how to kick it with the foot to make it go upwards and make it fly up. And I also learned that you need to maintain a target whenever you want to hit the goal.
And would this be something that you would want to continue doing, playing football?
Yes.
And would you encourage others to join the summer camp next year?
I would enjoy others too.
The newest addition to the summer camp this year was karate, which was facilitated by Orlando Che. Throughout the 1 week of training, participants say they were able to learn all the basics of karate, including kicking and blocking.
Classes.
Because I love karate and I want to teach my dad.
Because karate is fun and we can learn more and then experience it with other people.
Talk to us about some of the things that you guys learned during the classes this week.
Today we learned about blocks. To block like a punch.
We learn kicks, blocks, punches, and other stuff that we do in karate.
And is this something that you guys would want to do again next year?
Yes.
Yes.
And would you encourage other children from your community to come out to the summer camp?
Yes.
Yes, I would, because then there would be more people for more experience to others.
Some 300 school pupils. This year's camp included over 120 participants from the community of San Esteban. Some 300 school pupils will benefit from the Orange Walk Town Council's Back to School Drive. Today, a special event was held at the Orange Walk Central Park where parents, students, and the council gathered to celebrate the occasion. The children were ecstatic to receive a brand new school bag, and with it, books, pencils, erasers, rulers, among other things, to sway back to school in style. We spoke to the leader of the council, who said the entire planning and executing of Fiestarama 2023 was all worth it because the smile on the face of the recipients is priceless. The profits made of Fiestarama was all spent on this back-to-school program.
So happy and the sun is blazing so hot. So the happiness of the sun is because it's shining on us and shining on these kids that are out there, the residents of Orange Walk that will be receiving these school bags. It's over about 300 school bags. Our target was 250 when we first talked about having the Fiestarama, and we even have an amount of 50 bags for special needed kids. So we surpassed our amount, and I'm glad that everybody came out and supported the Fiestarama for this year, and I expect next year that we will do better. But for now, the bags are here. Now it's time to distribute the bags to the kids, and you can look at the back, you can see the smile, and not only that, Elmer, when I see this, I can see that we're helping the residents, especially the parents. It is a bag like this gives them an opportunity to spend their money on something else, probably the uniform, probably a shoes for their kids, which they know for a fact is going to help them for the rest of the year at school, which is a whole year. So these are the things that this council has in mind to help our residents, to give them something that they can share with their kids, and these by sharing with their kids, they can use it for school.
Where did you purchase the bags and what are included in the bags?
I think most of these bags were purchased from A&R. It's one of our main sponsors. Even though we got the bags from them, they even adapted to give us some of their products so we can put it in these school bags. There's many things for school: books, pens, pencils, and it varies. It varies from the primary school to high school as well too. So different ages, as you can see at the back, you can see more likely the primary school kids that we're catered for. But we do cater for high school students as well, because we know for a fact that this is a plus, a huge plus, and we know for a fact that Sixth Farm is expensive. We know high school is a little expensive. So anything that this council can assist in any one of these students in advancing them so they can continue their study in school, it's a plus for us as a council. I want to say to my sponsors, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to say thank you to my entire staff as well too for the face. Without the face man, the team that worked their heart and soul for those past 2 days, this wouldn't have been possible. The people that made it possible, like I said, there's a lot. I can go on and on by mentioning and calling names of the people that are responsible for these kids having these bags out there today. They can take home these bags today. So the overall profit of the Faceorama was over $20,000. This includes the gate revenues and everything that was put together. At the end of the day, Elmer, it benefits the residents. Now, these money will go back to the community in a school bag, and that shows how we are sending back the money to everyone so that these kids can have a school bag so they can go to school. And that's how this council is spending their money, giving it back to the community.
The beneficiaries are enrolled in different grade levels and they include special needs students. Two of the recipients told us how grateful they are to have been selected for the program since it alleviates their parents from an extra cost.
It's great because, school bag and all kind of books and everything, so I'm very grateful for this,
So do you think that your mom is going to be saving some money to buy maybe something else?
Yeah, maybe like a new shoes or something like that, uniform and things. Yeah, it would be very good.
And what do you want to say to the persons, to the people who made this event possible so that you can get a school bag today?
Say thank you for everything. And all of these children are going to get school books, everything. They're going to save money and stuff like that. So it's very good for them. I'm grateful for that.
You're chosen over thousands of other students in Orange Walk Town. How do you feel about that?
Excited and grateful for the opportunity to get something.
How does this help you to go back to school?
Helps me by saving my parents a lot of money by buying new bag and books.
Are you glad that the Town Council of Orange Walk started this raise fund?
Yes, I'm very thankful.
Did you know that this school bag was made possible with monies that was raised as profit from the Fiestarama?
No, I didn't know. This is news to me.
Now, will you go to Fiestarama next year or tell your friends to go to Fiestarama because next year maybe more bags can be gotten?
Definitely to help other students.
For grandmother Elsa Martinez, the program could not have come at a better time.
Me hace sentir bien porque le están dando a todos los niños que lo necesitan y gente que no lo puede conseguir, pues lo está consiguiendo con él y gracias a él lo estamos consiguiendo.
¿Cómo eso le ayuda ahora para que sea un poquito más o menos costoso para el regreso a clase?
Pues ya no tenemos que hacer este gasto, ya lo necesitamos para otra cosa.
¿Cuántos hijos tiene?
Pues son mis nietas, Biandra Orellana y Andrea Orellana.
The event will be repeated next year as it has now become a tradition for the municipality. Prime Minister John Briceño, who is also the area representative for Orange Walk Central, was in the community of San Esteban earlier this week where he interacted with children from the community who participated in the annual summer camp. He also visited areas in the community where infrastructure works are currently ongoing. While visiting his constituency, PM Briceño also took the opportunity to distribute over 20 land certificates to residents in the area, which were obtained through a collaboration with his office. This kind of work, according to the PM, lies at the heart of what it means to be an area representative.
Sure, part of the work that I do or we do as in Orange Walk Central is to assist in any way that we can. I know in many instances it's a challenge to be able to get your documents at the lands. They're overwhelmed by so much demand. So what I do is when I'm in Babapan, I ask one of my assistants, for instance like Edwin Hill, to go there and personally follow up and try to assist. So we assist in so many different ways, not only education and health, but even in facilitating in trying to get a land certificate or if it is an issue their passport or in anything. We are here to work. I believe that the people elected me to represent them, and I try to do it to the best of my ability.
If you are an avid follower of the news, I am sure that you have heard on the newscast and others when the leader of the opposition and even the chairman of the party have called for the resignation of Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. It's a non-stop demand that the Compol has responded to time and time again, citing that crime is a never-ending battle. Yesterday, the commissioner responded once more to the call made for his resignation and to the possible loss of public confidence in the department, and here is how that went. The price of liquid petroleum gas increased today, Friday, August 11th, of 40 cents. This means that the wholesale price for LPG is now $3.71, up from $3.31. In urban areas, the retail price will be $1.21 per pound or $5.31 per gallon. Prices in the rural areas will increase to $1.24 per pound or $5.41 per gallon. According to the Supplies Control Unit SCU in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, the increase of 40 cents per gallon is a result of an increase in the acquisition price of both butane and propane. A firearm and ammunition control board has been approved by Cabinet. This will result in a restructuring of the gun license regime, including a shift in the gun license vetting process, which will no longer be carried out by the police department, with the Commissioner of Police having the final say, but by the newly created board, which will have full control over that process. Reports of an alleged black market for gun license in Belize, with even persons with a criminal record being able to access licenses within a short period of time after making under-the-table payments to certain members of the police department, have led to the increased scrutiny of the Belize Police Department and Commissioner Chester Williams. Gun licenses have reportedly been granted to gang figures and individuals with criminal records, as well as persons suspected of being underworld figures. While the Compol is in agreement with the formation of the board, he does not believe emulating the gun license board from Jamaica is such a great idea as some are recommending. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, August 14th, here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at ctv3newsbz. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.